Ferrari won the dual meet.
Oh,
He
okay.
had to win to get
That was against. That was Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma
wasn't
State.
It?
Yes,
David
David Taylor. It was his first year.
That's it.
And they had a Japanese guy.
wow.
They were holding up signs in Japanese. I was like,
really?
How's that work? One of the assistants had a bunch of poster boards, and they were holding them up, and we were behind them, so we couldn't see what they were holding up. And then I looked at some pictures on social media. I'm like, it's Japanese writing. It's like, work hard, or hit your near arm far leg. He probably had to make a bunch of them. See, is he reaching with what's he reaching with? All right, hit your drag. It was pretty cool. That's
right. I remember that. I mean, they had that Japanese kid out there wrestling. That's crazy. The freestyler. Wow.
This is the Full Tilt Podcast with Hatch.
All right. Well, here we go. Let's get started. Steve Mocco.
How's it going?
How we doing?
Good.
Oh,
Good.
Man. I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, I've been looking forward to this. He's one of my top guests that I've been meaning to have on. But you talk about my Mount Rushmore for heavyweight wrestlers in the United States. I tell you what, this guy right here is 100% on it. So
thanks, man.
You got it.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, I appreciate it. A lot of good ones out there, but it's good to be thought of that way. It's awesome.
No, absolutely. It was funny because I was just coming out of Iowa and at the time when you were kind of coming in, and I remember all the buzz around Steve Mocco back in the day when you were coming out of like Blair Academy. I mean, man, I think about the NIL era right now.
Yeah, I missed the boat.
You do too, I bet. Because I'm telling you, if there was like a top 5 of guys that missed like the NIL, it was you. I would say maybe you would probably be a pretty big candidate for number 1. You and Spencer Lee would be my 2 that I would be looking at, like those two guys right there.
Just missed
he just missed it.
Yeah.
You know, so, and we're talking about, but you were a heavyweight. You had this aura around you. I mean, I couldn't imagine.
Listen, I'm old. I missed a lot of things. I missed the internet, like the streaming internet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I missed, but the NIL too. I missed that too.
Yeah, because I could just imagine if the NIL era was there when Steve Mocco was coming through.
You remember back in the day when I was coming up and and you know, you wrestled too. Like they had the internet, they had message boards, but it wasn't like it is now with like all these social media things. You know, it's really cool. It's really great for kids. You know?
Well, I remember the first time I watched you work out, and we'll get into like the high school stuff and like just being the number 1 recruit in the country and all that stuff, just kind of organically just build the conversation out. But I remember Coach Gable doesn't get like his time doesn't get utilized, you know, like a certain way unless it's a big deal. So we were at camps and you came in for camps and he's like, Mocco's coming in. I got to work with Mocco. And he like literally like veered off from doing anything else. Yeah. He like set a time of his day right there. And I remember him putting you through drills and I'm like, man, oh man, how can this big dude move like this? This is crazy. Yeah. It was insane. So I don't know if you remember that, but it was during the summer camps.
I remember. He was impressive. Like it was impressive to, you know, since you're a little kid, you hear about Dan Gable. And when you see him, all those stories, like there's like the person of him, you know, like everybody hears, you know, at least that era, our era,
of course,
or my era, and your era too. Like everybody hears about him before they see him, you know. So to actually see him, I remember that as a kid being like, what a big deal that was. You know? Like it was awesome.
Yeah. It was impressive because I mean, like I said again, I mean, just all the it's not hype. You can't really say hype because you had an amazing career, but just like all the attention that you were getting. So we finally had this heavyweight that could move like a cat, that had great technique, that was just in mean and just had this aura about you, and it was really, really, really cool. You know that you came in and there was a huge buzz going on right now. As soon as you got there, I mean, you got started in the judo world. Is that how you got started?
Yeah.
Okay, and how'd that kind of play into like kind of what you, like the techniques that transpired and everything else that went through the wrestling?
I started wrestling. It was youth, rec kind of style.
Right.
And then I had a problem. I had a nephritis of the kidneys. It was nephritis of the kidneys, right? It was a kidney problem, and I was like pretty not healthy for it. Right? Like it was bad. So they said I wasn't going to play sports anymore. at the time, my dad, he used to work out at this rec center that had a pool. So he took me there just to swim, to swim for exercise. And he would lift weights and I would swim. And all the kids were putting gis on. Like I'd be putting my swim trunks on, showering, and going to the pool and swim. And I would see them putting the gis on. And as a kid, I watched Kung Fu with David Carradine.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, I want to do that. And I thought that's what they were doing, And I was like, hey, can I do that? And he was like, yeah, all right. Eventually he said, yeah, all right, right? And then I went in, and it was basically a couple years of doing that. And then, we basically came to understanding it wasn't really like martial arts. It was basically wrestling with pajamas on, So it was like, all right. Then Dad said it was like, you could, if you're doing this, you could definitely wrestle again. So then I went back to wrestling. But judo was my primary focus probably till I went to Blair, or at least a big time focus. Maybe not primary when I hit high school, but definitely growing up, I spent a lot of time in the gi. I spent a lot of time doing judo.
Oh wow!
It affected my style, obviously, with trips and stuff. But even to compete for a while, wasn't sure if I was going to wrestle or do judo. I was like, my sister went on to go do judo.
That's what I was going to go into.
She wrestled too, but she like focused more on the judo. And then with the college and I wound up going to Blair, which was like a prep school situation, and then that kind of steered me more into the wrestling side of it than the judo side of it.
Right. Now, with the judo side of it, what do you? What kind of impact did it have, like, on your wrestling techniques? Was it more like like I said, you spoke about the trips, and obviously you're known for your foot sweep.
Yeah, judo is really good for hips because you got handles.
I gotcha.
They can't slide out. Like if I grab your wrist, it could break free, right? But if I have your jacket like this, you're not getting this back, right? So you really have to control with your hips. At a young age, I think it's really good for kids to do it, because you develop like turning them over and throwing, and not just hip tosses and headlocks and stuff like that, but also like lifts. Because like in wrestling, you're foot sweeping, but in judo, foot sweep is because you can actually grab a hold of their clothes. You're like picking them up and launching them, which it's higher amplitude than without the gi. But without the gi, it's a little easier too. They just fall, But no, I think judo's really good. If I had to compare the two skills as like an adult and a coach,
right,
I would say like wrestling develops like in and up, and judo is more like pull and turn over. Pull and turn over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So between the two of them, they work good together. I don't think to get really good at one versus the other, I think you got to specialize in it, a little bit. A lot of like wrestling is hand fighting and head position.
Of course.
And judo is grip fighting and postures, right? Like getting the right grip to attack and not giving up. The 90%, I think, of like higher level judo is grip fighting. And like being able to attack with grips you're not good at and not conceding for grips. At least I know they change the rules so much. I'm not really involved in judo at all anymore.
Right.
And they change the rules every quad, and they definitely took out a lot of the wrestling things that was a thing in judo, like double legs and leg attacks. I don't even think you could cross lapel grab now. When I competed, you could like have a collar tie and a wrist. Now I think you could still do that, but you can't have a lapel and an arm. I'm not even sure. I'm like so out of the loop in judo.
Yeah, did you and your sister ever tangle a lot?
My sister would beat me up, man. I wouldn't mess with her. Yeah, she was tough.
She was tough.
She was tough.
She was good in judo, right? I mean, she was really good in judo.
Very good in judo. Very good in judo. She was a world team member, and the weight didn't qualify at the Olympics, so she went to the Grand Prix or the Golden Grand Prix with a qualifier, and she didn't get it qualified. So then she cut down to the weight underneath hers, which wound up being Ronda Rousey's weight.
Right.
Ronda Rousey went on to take bronze, but she didn't make the team. Ronda beat her out for the team, but she was definitely like the best at that weight above her. But the drop, I think, kind of hurt her.
Gotcha.
But she was a legit judoka. She did it her whole life.
Wow.
She won multiple national titles, a lot of Grand Prix.
Wow.
At different age groups,
Yeah.
But she was legit.
Wow. That's impressive. I know you mentioned the Blair Academy stuff. Back in the day, you guys had some, you had some monster teams.
Yeah. You know what happened at Blair? Why I stopped doing judo, honestly?
Yeah, I want to know.
So they used to do this thing. It was like,
does anybody know this story?
Yeah.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I have a special section that nobody knows. So I was going to jump right in.
No.
They know it? Okay.
I don't know if they know. Maybe
All right,
they
well,
do.
okay. We're going to say this is a
know.
nobody knows section right here.
Yeah.
Sponsored by Young Guns Wrestling Camps. There we go.
So I went to Blair. I got, like it happened. We got a room. We went in there, and I started at Blair. But I went home for the first weekend, and we were like, hey, we should do that judo tournament. At least it's a good workout, Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, let's go. So I went to the judo tournament, and it was, you keep going. If you win, you keep going. It's like a point tournament. So they make a line. There's no weight classes. So the littlest guy goes against, like king of the mat in wrestling.
Really?
But you go all the way up till you lose, and you're allowed 2 shots at it, right? So I was already heavyweight. I was big, so I was already towards the end of the line. I had like maybe 4 matches of bigger guys because of any age,
Yeah.
So I went against 4 guys, and then you go back to the guy underneath you. I went all the way down, and I bowed out. I didn't even do my second time. You're allowed 2 times through. But I was so beat up from it. Like my knuckles got tore up. I had like a bunch of gi burn. I had a big black eye. I always had a big black eye. I lived my head a lot, even in wrestling.
Yeah, right.
But I showed back up on Monday for Blair, and Buxton was like, what did you do? And the rule, like the tournament name was Stand Up and Fight, right? Uh-huh. So I said, I did a stand up and fight tournament. And he was like, oh, no more judo. Like, he just cut it off. Like, he was like, hey, you're here to wrestle. You're here to wrestle. I don't know if he thought it was like no holds barred or grappling or what. But he was like, no more of that. So that was my last. Axe to it. That was my last judo tournament.
Wow. Yeah. So you were on those Buxton teams that, man, he put together some monster teams. Because you were there for 2 years, right?
Yeah.
At Blair.
Yeah.
So who were your teammates there the 2 years? I know Esposito was one of your teammates.
Esposito was my teammate. He was my roommate. Kurt Backus.
Okay, Backus. That's right. That's right. God, he's a good dude.
Great dude.
Yeah.
Great dude. Solid dude. He was at Iowa for a while.
Yep, he was.
Iowa State guy.
Yeah.
I think he still lives in Mount Vernon.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Kurt's a good dude.
Corey Cooperman.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Corey Cooperman was there. Mark Perry.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Matt Veers, Mike Waite. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a bunch of really, really talented. We had a real talented team.
Yeah.
A lot of really good guys. A lot of the guys did really well in college. All of them wrestled in college.
Yeah.
A bunch of good PGs, too, at the time. Mm-hmm. Paul Valecki, he wrestled for Parkland and then PG there. He was a stud. Mm-hmm. Just a bunch of really, really, really good room. Really great room. Really good coaches, like Buxton, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
He's world-renowned. But like Nate Burrows
was
a great coach. Solomon Fleckman was a great coach. Wayne Kading was always there. He was a 2-time finalist from Syracuse.
Wow.
He would come like probably 3 or 4 times a week and wrestle. And he wrestled with me. He was older and still wrestled. And he would go live. He would scrap. It was really good situation for me.
Mm-hmm. What was it like wrestling for Buxton? I mean,
it was awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Buxton, like he was a competitor. Like as a coach, he was a competitor, and as an athlete, you're just worrying about your, what are you going to have for dinner? And like, what's my workout going to be for tomorrow? But like, as an adult now, looking back on it, like the amount of organization it took to do what he did, because he would take us to somewhere to work out. He would bring somebody in to work out. But it wasn't just me. Like he had Cooperman, he had Backus, he probably had 6 of these guys, and he was juggling all of it, plus the rest of the team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was an impressive coach. Like, I didn't realize it while I was going through it, but looking back on it now, it's very impressive what he accomplished, like individually. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, it's the thing. It takes. You just mentioned 5 really high level coaches there, and it takes a village. Especially when you have the amount of talent on the team that you guys had. I mean, just the logistics of making things work and just all the moving parts. When you guys were wrestling back then. He's impressive to do.
He was good. He was a college coach. He was coaching college kids.
Yeah.
They just weren't college age.
Right.
But he coached like he was very, before his time, he was very advanced.
Mm-hmm. Is he pretty intense in the room?
Yeah, he could be, for sure.
Yeah.
Could be. I mean, he was, balanced, but when he put the intensity on, it was intense.
What was the toughest boxing practice you ever had?
He ran some really good practices technically and stuff, but one of the toughest ones he put me through personally was he had 4 or 5 guys, and if I got a takedown, somebody would switch, you know? And I think we went, you know, like we went for a while. And that was tough. And he did some really cool stuff that like you didn't see as much back then. Now you see it more with strength and conditioning and recovery and stuff like that. So, I mean, like he definitely did a lot of like really tough things, but you could see it now and like it's kind of proven over the time. Now, like it's pretty much, but he was way before that curve, you know, which was cool.
Yeah, yeah.
He had us doing stuff with, like now they have them, now they're like specially made for it, but he took a bunch of, what were those things? It was, what you fill balloons with. Like air tanks.
Like, yeah.
And he cut them open, put sand in them.
Like the air tanks, like the helium tanks?
So it was like a giant kind of weight, but it was like the size of a leg, you know? And he'd have us flip them.
Oh.
And then he had us pick up rocks and throw them. And then he had a bunch of logs that you'd like lift up and you'd have to walk up and let them flip.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, no, it was fun, man. It was fun training there. You never knew what you were going to do every day, and it was exciting. It was very exciting. You never knew who was going to show up because we had like a lot of really good high school guys. So like every once in a while, a college coach would show up, and then it'd be like he wanted to come watch practice.
Yeah.
And then practice was over, and he would roll around with anybody. I was like, let's roll, let's go around. You know?
For sure.
So you always ran into like phenomenal influences. You know, like just because our team was good and people were around. So I remember wrestling with Lieberman.
Oh yeah.
He was a Lehigh national champ. He was a Pan Am's game champ. He's an older guy now. His son went to Blair, and he just came to watch practice, and he was like, I'll wrestle with you. He wound up wrestling with me for like once a week for like a month straight. Really? I was like, this is crazy. Yeah. You know, like, it was really, really special.
Could you get him?
Yeah. No, I got him.
Yeah, you got him.
I was good. I was good at a young age.
Yeah.
I could wrestle hard at a young age.
Yeah.
Like, I never was that offensive, but I stayed in position really well. And even though I was young, I could still hold older guys at bay to a certain extent. I mean, some guys I couldn't, but you know, for the most part, I was pretty good at a young age.
Like when Steve Mocco needed a butt whooping in high school, who would Buxton bring in? You remember?
I remember he had me work out with Borzio. He had me go work out with Borzio a few times, and that was tough.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in high school, because it was kind of before when high school guys were wrestling in the opens.
Oh yeah.
And I remember Borzio let me wrestle in the open because he coached at East Stroudsburg.
Oh.
And like, if anybody complains about him wrestling, I'm just gonna have him wrestle him. I wrestle with him like every other week. You know what I mean? Like, so it was like now I think high school guys are so advanced they can wrestle.
They just get in there. Yeah.
But I remember that back then it was a funny thing. He's like, I'll just say if they have a problem with it, they can wrestle with him. He was a good guy, Borzio. I wrestled with him a lot. I wound up competing with him later in 2004.
You did?
In open, but
really?
But in high school, we trained together a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was wondering that. I mean, that's the one because obviously, you know, I mean, I've been coaching for 30, almost 5 years now. And everybody needs butt whooping.
Yeah,
everybody needs to,
Absolutely.
And so I was thinking, man, that on the way over here, we were going to come do this podcast. I was like, that'd be a great question. Who in high school? Because I remember how good you were. Who in high school at the high school level could literally give Steve Mocco a butt whooping back then? So
I remember I wrestled with Trost, the coach of
Oh
Michigan.
Yeah.
He gave me a handful. I wrestled with Tom Erickson
a
couple times, and that was like just the power, the sheer like.
Oh, I bet
that's power of it was like, wow, he's a very strong, powerful guy.
Yeah.
I went to the training center a couple times. I wrestled a few times with Gary McCoy.
Okay.
When I was in high school.
Yeah, in high school.
We wound up competing again too,
Yep.
but we trained together in high school a few times, and he was a really good look because obviously he was top of the food chain at the time.
Yeah.
And it was really motivating. Like he would get me, but I was like, it motivated me to like want to be the best, get better and stuff.
Right.
So it was really good.
Like when you're in high school like that, when you're wrestling like Kerry McCoy, like you said, he's top of the food chain at the time, and you're a high school kid, and he's getting you in positions, and he's getting you with this, getting you with that, whatever. What type of, were you far enough along with your I guess, your wrestling IQ to where you could make certain adjustments on him, and not necessarily on the fly, but maybe for the next workout to where he wasn't getting it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. And then it was a really
Because he has a lot different style than you. I mean, he's very, very agile, very,
totally different
your positioning and you're crazy strong. And
I made some adjustments from training with him, and he would coach you through it. And all those guys did.
Right.
Trost, Erickson, even guys like that I would maybe go even with or be close with or whatever, they would always give me adjustments. They were like, you're a high school age kid. Even if you're doing well, they're still like bringing you along and helping you. Like I definitely gained a lot of knowledge from those older guys. Like I remember going to NCAAs as a junior in high school, and they used to do like a camp, like in between the sessions. And it'd be mostly like open guys.
Yeah.
And I think it was the first time I worked out with Lee Fullhart.
Oh, okay.
Was there.
Yeah.
Like he went to go and we worked out. So like I worked out with Lee one time in high school. I worked out him a lot in college.
Right.
I worked out him with him one time in high school, and it was like that was all those guys. It was invaluable experience for me to like develop. Like defensively, I was sound, but learning their offense and getting pointers from each one of them really brought me along quick. And because of that, I wrestled right off the rip. Like
Right.
I don't think if I didn't have those experiences with those coaches and those guys that volunteered and helped, I don't think I think I would have redshirted my first year at Iowa.
Yeah.
But
especially a bit heavyweight, very, very rarely, especially back then. I mean, very rarely to just come right out the rip and
I remember talking with Buxton about that. Like my senior year, he was like, "Well, what do you think? You think you'll redshirt, or you think you're, And he told me, he was like, "No, you're ready to wrestle. You could wrestle now if you want to. See what the coaches think, but if you wanted to wrestle in the NCAAs this year, you'd be ready to do it as a senior." But that built me, that like junior and senior year, from those older guys that definitely gave me the confidence and the knowledge to be able to step in and compete.
Yeah, so you wrestled with Lee quite a bit when you're in college, then, huh? Man, he's a strong dude, wasn't he?
Me and Lee spent so much time together.
Yeah, he's a good dude too.
He is a great dude.
Yeah,
he is a great dude. When I went to Iowa.
Yeah,
we trained all the time because he used to go back and forth.
Hard worker.
He's a hard worker.
Core Iowa.
In 2004, we spent the most time together because we used to drive from Iowa City to the training center. So we would drive, and he might not say a word.
Yeah.
I remember the first time he said a word. Like, I talk. I'm quiet. I want you to know me. I talk. But I remember one time we were driving. It was probably like he would drive 3 or 4 hours. We'd get gas. I would drive 3 or 4 hours. We'd get gas. He would drive. And then one time I couldn't sleep. We were in the car, and I was just like trying to talk. But and then one time we drove by. The first word he said in the car, it was like the second road trip, turkey. He drove past the turkey. He said turkey. I was like, "Oh yeah, that's a turkey. You turkey nut." He just went right back to driving again.
He drives fast. He's a man.
Yeah.
He's a man of very few words.
Yeah,
tough dude.
Tough
though.
as hell.
Man, he was
great training partner for me all my career.
Oh, I bet.
Up until he retired, But while we were competing together, even in the open, and we moved back to Iowa City. I trained with him a lot, and then. Definitely at the training center, we spent a lot of time together. Yeah, and commuting.
He was a border patrol agent for a while.
Yeah.
When he was doing that, I remember thinking, I was like, there is nobody that I would rather have defending our border than Lee Fullhart. Yeah. He would be like, if I were thinking like the top 3 people that I would want on the border defending our country, that would be Lee Fullhart for sure. Yeah, he'd be at the top of that list.
He's keeping it tight. He's not letting he's a by the book guy. He's very straightforward, very tough. Yeah. Awesome influence on me as a competitor and a coach.
Right. So when you made that transition from Blair to Iowa. Obviously, Iowa was most definitely not the only school that was out there. Was all over you. I mean, why Iowa right out the jump?
To Oklahoma State?
No. Why Iowa from Blair? From Blair, right out the rip.
I got this is it's a funny story, but I got kind of I wrestled in the All-Star match. Mm-hmm. Well, first I had a recruiting trip. Right. I went on the recruiting trip to Iowa, and it was awesome. Like, I liked it. Mm-hmm. I came home. I said, "This is a great school. These guys are. This is. I could see myself here. Which is all about it. I was into it. And then I wrestled there. they had like the USA team against the Iowa team. I think it was in Coralville or somewhere up there, like not in Iowa City. But when I went there, even though I was on the USA team wrestling the Iowa guy, it was like it was almost like another. It wasn't an official trip or nothing, but like all the people that went to watch the match were like, "Come to Iowa!" Like you could see there, like, and it was like I was down to Oklahoma State and Iowa, and I was like, I don't know what to pick here. I like them both. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then that kind of like won me over. I remember like going into Iowa City after the match was over and hanging out with the guys and like getting to know the people and like everybody we went to knew who I was.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a lot for high school.
Oh, yeah.
And then the NCAAs was in Iowa City.
Oh, wow.
So I stayed in the hotel. I can't even think. You know the strip?
Yeah, right in the Coralville strip.
Yeah,
there.
where the highway is.
Yep.
You know, like you go this way and there's a highway. I think there's like a breakfast place there.
Oh, yeah.
I forget. It's like something court.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I don't think it's named that anymore, though. I was just there.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
It's a little hotel that the team stayed there.
Yeah.
For the thing.
Oh, man, that's gonna bug me. Because
it was like the travel hotel for the home dual meets and stuff.
Absolutely.
And I stayed there, and I remember like it just everybody that was like coming in from out of town that was an Iowa fan stayed there, and it was like I remember like it was just so welcoming and warm, and I remember hanging out with like the parents of different guys that were wrestling, like the Zadeks, and it was just almost like I just like, and then I saw Mike Zadek wrestled Reggie Wright, and Reggie had a good lead on him. It looked like Mike was going to go down, and Mike just started pouring it on, and he took him down to go to overtime, and then he took him down in overtime, and I believe, like, don't quote me on this, I'm like hazy on it, it's been years, but I think he got the pin, like Reggie just like rolled off after the takedown and he just jumped up and pinned him.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing like the Carver, it sounded like the roof was going to blow off. Like if we were talking like this, we'd have to scream at each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I turned to my brother Joe and I was like, I'm going to school here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was like, that sealed the deal for me.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing, at least at that time, and probably still right now, like when the Carver-Hawkeye Arena crowd is riled up.
Yeah.
And it's a big match, whether it's obviously Penn State, Oklahoma State, Iowa State, those type of things. That place is it just gets deafening.
It pops up, yeah.
It's crazy.
Awesome.
It's so wild because the way that whole arena is set up when like back in the old school days where in the second floor is a wrestling room.
Yeah.
And then of course you got the stairs.
Yeah.
And then you got the track upstairs.
Yeah.
And you got everything. And it's like, Dan Gable designed this this Carver-Hawkeye Arena.
Yeah,
if he's the one that had a lot to do with how that thing was built out.
Yeah.
I mean, and so and then that and like his Wrestler Hill that just happened to be a path right up the middle of a hill, with a little hand fighting area at the top. It's like, okay, all right, this doesn't magically pop up.
It was like perfectly set.
It was. Everybody like as you drive by, on the way up to Carver, and like literally you'd see like all these trees and everything, but then there'd be a little strip that people run up, and it's like, okay, wait a second, that just doesn't. You just don't grow trees like that. Yeah. I mean, that's like Coach Gable going there. He probably went in there with a whatever to clear it, start clearing it out. So, well, we like I said, I remember when you committed and you were at Iowa those years, and man, like I said, I mean, I've always been a huge fan, and it's funny because because I've always been really good friends with Tom and Terry, and I mentioned your day when you were there, and Tom goes, "That's what we need to do. We need to get Steve Mocco and Mike Hatcher together on the night of the town in Iowa City. See how that goes." I was like, "You think we'd have fun?" He goes, "Oh, you two get along just fine." So then it took me a while. Like, I mean, it was years down the road, and then I finally met you, and obviously it was through the Rogers boys.
Yep.
Where I met you. With Lloydie, because you get to know Lloydie when he came back and wrestled for the club.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lloyd lived in Coralville.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was tough, man. Lloyd was tough.
Oh, yeah. I was his high school coach.
Yeah.
He
was a stud.
Yeah.
That was Palm Beach
Martin County.
Martin County.
Martin County.
What was
Just
Stewart?
south. Yeah, Stewart area.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I kick it with Lloyd's brothers a
yeah,
lot.
Eric.
Yeah. Eric and Mark.
Eric and Mark.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go see their dad sometimes. They got a good. They're good guys.
I saw
their
them
whole
all.
family. I was really close with Lloyd.
Yeah.
I don't see him as much now. I see a lot more of Eric.
Yeah. Well, Lloyd's got a great thing going on. I mean, he's an officer in the Navy. Yeah, he's an officer in the Navy. And he did such a great job there. Just all the different stuff he was doing. They just gave him said, okay, you're an officer now.
Yeah. He was really good. Like in the room, and he did good.
Real hard worker.
Really hard worker.
Really hard worker.
Really hard worker, and his style matched his he didn't get away from that, like too much, and he was a stud. He won the Bundesliga.
Yeah.
In one of those leagues in the pro, like in Germany or Austria. Yeah. He just had some guys that he didn't make the world team. It was thick, that weight class.
Oh, yeah.
But he was right there with them. Like he'd have good matches with them. He came out like he was a stud. He was a great training partner, great travel. We went to like Krasnoyarsk together.
Yeah.
Kiev.
Yeah.
He was a good dude.
Yeah, he's out of the 30 whatever, like I said, plus years of wrestling, coaching from my perspective. I mean, he's probably easily in my top 5 of my favorite kids I've ever coached. I mean, he's just. I mean, it was crazy because we actually got on. We started on a really, really rough road. Yeah. Him and I did. Because he's pretty stubborn, you know, and very stubborn, and he just wouldn't quite buy into believe it or not, the work ethic side of it.
Yeah.
And I keep telling people like what Lloyd was when I first met him. And because they only know Lloyd now and how hard a worker he is. I said, well, when we first met, it was a little different.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Big time.
Big time.
Big time. Oh, big time.
That's good. I mean, you had a big impact on him.
Well, I think me and Big Lloyd.
Big Lloyd.
Because Big Lloyd came and witnessed one of our practices one day. He wasn't real happy with Little Lloyd, and I think. It probably had a little bit to do with it too, but actually, you know what just now that we're still on the Iowa topic, one of the big influences I think that was on his career was when I took a bunch of them from my Martin County team, took them up to Iowa for one summer for the camps. For camps, and so we did the intensive camp, and then actually we had a group that stayed after with me in Tassel Corn.
When was that? Was I there for that, or was it before I was there?
I think it would have been before you,
like early 90s.
Because I coached in Iowa for 4 years. I graduated in '96. I was in Iowa till 2000, coaching in Durant, and then it would have been my first. Just to be like 01, 02 is when.
So I was there.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So. That's that. I took him up there, and I remember because we were having a rough go at it the next year, and I was giving the guys a little butt chewing, and I was asking them, the guys that went to Iowa, I said, you guys freaking wasted your damn money up there, and I kept going down the road. Who was your coach, by the way, and so-and-so would say, so TJ Williams, or so I'm like, oh, really? I mean, what do you think right now, your work ethic? And then I kept going on down, asking all these kids, and then finally got to Lloyd, and Lloyd, his head was down. I said, Lloyd, and who is your coach? He's like, Schwab. And I was like, what? I said, Doug Schwab? I said, are you kidding me? He's like literally arguably the hardest worker Iowa's ever had. Yeah. And what do you think? And then I'm telling you, from the next day on, he literally went, I've never, ever, ever, and again, my 30 plus years of coaching, never seen a kid do a total 180 in such a quick, literally, it was like that workout, 180, and then from there on, I don't know if I've ever had a kid work harder.
Man, that's awesome.
It's crazy.
That's good. Yeah. That's good.
So I can trip that to Doug Schwab,
you did.
who I'm going to have on this podcast too.
You said it. Yeah, you got to get Doug out here.
So Doug
trained hard, right?
Man,
he was a stud.
Yeah, he was an animal too. Yeah, it was that room in there. It's how it was. There's some crazy stuff going on there.
Yeah.
What was the craziest Iowa story when you were first there? When your first 2 years there?
There was a couple pretty bad. The first year there, everything was videotaped because they had that show.
Oh, that's right. You were on that. That's right.
Yeah. So from the time you got there, that was pretty crazy in its own self.
Yeah.
So when you pulled up to the gym, they had a camera crew.
What was it? It was like the season on the mat or
season. Yeah.
That's what it was. That's what
it was. It was a good show. It's
a
a great show.
It was a great show. Yeah.
And then it got another resurgence when YouTube became a thing because somebody uploaded it, and that people that hadn't seen it.
Yeah.
But it was a good show. But they'd have a camera crew. When you get out of the car and you walk into Carver, they would follow you. And then they'd have another camera crew when you got to the hallway that would follow you to kind of the locker room. And then when everybody got there, all 4 camera crews would come down and film the practice. So, like,
Oh, wow.
It's like pretty much everything they had access to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For a while, it was like the only way you could get them to put the cameras down was to strip down.
Oh, wow.
So, like, if you wanted to say anything not on camera, you had to, like, drop trow, you know? So that was interesting. Like, imagine every second they're, like, you know what I mean? And they're looking for those. They didn't use hardly any of it, but they're always trying to get, like, a ton of shit that they're going to go through.
Right.
Yeah.
Because people ask me about that room all the time, and I was never a varsity guy. I was varsity for like a month, sophomore year or something. I don't remember, but everybody always asked me what the room was like, and I was like, you had to be in there, like the little stories and people throwing stuff, throwing headgear and throwing shit against the wall and cussing and all right, people Terry Brands yelling,
Yeah, and it was a little different.
It was crazy.
You could get away with a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I think you can today.
Oh, yeah.
So there was definitely a lot more, I don't know how to say it. Maybe they still do. I don't know. I'm not in the room or nothing now. But
same.
it was definitely, physical for sure. And then, like, there was a pecking order to it. And if you overturn that, there could be like a physical altercation sometimes.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure that probably still goes on there a little bit there. I mean,
I'm sure. I mean, they train hard.
Yeah.
They work hard, and they're smart. They adjust with the times, but there definitely is some in any room, not just but any room when you really care about what's going on and you're not doing well, you're going to get frustrated. And they did a really good job with that, keeping us focused and bringing us back down to earth and letting us know what scores points and what doesn't. Like, temper tantrums don't score any points, right? Like, and don't get me wrong, I had a lot of temper tantrums. I had a lot of temper tantrums. I'm not saying that I didn't. I was probably one of the worst, but they did a good job with that.
Who would make you have a temper tantrum back in the day?
It wasn't always like a hard go that gave you the worst temper tantrum. It was always one where you're like, thought you were going to do a lot.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is going to be, and it starts getting harder than you think it is. That's always how it is, right? Like, it was always like, you didn't think it was going to be this hard, and now you're like, what is this guy doing? You know what I mean? Which is, and not just me. There was a lot of us that were that, but that's how it was. But
who is your main training partners? Your 2 years there that you were there.
My first year was Wes Han.
Oh yeah, okay,
And me and Wes, we trained a lot together. He was great. I mean, like, he was a really good heavyweight, and
one of the few guys to beat Brock Lesnar.
Yep, he was one of the few guys that beat Brock Lesnar, and he had he had him beat a little bit in the finals. There. I know he didn't get his hand raised.
I know.
There's a couple calls there,
Yeah.
But he got a lot. I mean, he trained with me every day. We had the Folsis brothers were there.
That's right, the Folsis,
a guy named Little who was there. He was another heavyweight, really tough kid. So between the three of them, and Lee would come into the room here and there, and we had a guy named Chad Lamer.
Oh yeah,
who was a stud.
Yeah, did you wrestle Chad a lot?
Yes.
Chad Lamer's awesome.
He is an awesome guy. Great family.
Oh man, awesome
guy. But as a training partner at the time, he was really good for me.
Yeah,
because he was an athlete and he wrestled.
Big strong dude too.
Yeah, big strong dude. He was 96 kilo, right? And but as big as you could be for 96 kilo.
Yeah.
But he was a great training partner too.
I recruited his kids to get to Cal Poly.
Oh, you did?
Coach at Cal Poly. Yeah. My first year I was out there.
Is his sons there?
They were. Chance transferred. He's transferred to Nebraska, and then Dashel transferred to. Oh, where did he transfer to? I know Oregon State, I believe. Yeah, he went back to Oregon State. But Brawley, his oldest one,
they're from Oregon.
They're from Oregon. Yeah. So Chad messaged me when I was at Cal Poly, our first year there, and he's like, "Hey, Hatch, you remember me?" I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" Yeah. And he goes, "I got 4 boys. I got one as a senior. He's good. He's got to get a little better at his feet. Just kind of give him a little rundown on him." he said, when he's got 3 younger brothers, and I was like, Saritas, get these kids to San Luis Obispo right now, because if they're anything like Chad, we need these guys.
Yeah.
So we ended up getting Brawley, and then Legend followed, and the Chancellor followed when he committed to Michigan, and then he transferred to Cal Poly, and then Dashel came there for a little bit, but they just recently hit the portal in the past year. But I love the Lamer family. They're
good dude.
They're great. So
you were in Cal Poly for a while.
I was there 3 years.
Did you ever run into Hackelman, John Hackelman?
No, I didn't.
He runs the pit.
Oh, really?
Chuck Liddell trains.
Okay. Yeah, no, yeah. I never. Yep, no, that was. I got there after. I don't know if Chuck was training there anymore in San Luis Obispo at the same time. He was already out there. But
Teixeira maybe there or no?
No, those guys never really came around the room. But I know Chuck's college coach, Lennis Cowell. He was a good big support of the program. Did our golf tournament, and he just sent me a Instagram message. He always sends me like little funny memes and stuff like that on Instagram. Yeah, but that was Chuck's college coach back in the day. So I love that place, man. Cal Poly was, that's a
good place to live.
Oh God, it was expensive.
I did a camp at the pit, and our bet at Oklahoma State. Yeah, our best trip. We'd wrestle in the Reno tournament. Mm-hmm. And it was tough. Like I think I wrestled 1 year in the finals, Velasquez, but then the Reno tournament was over, and it was right before Christmas break. We would drive from Reno to San Luis Obispo and wrestle Cal Poly for one duel, and we would stay at the Cliff Resorts. Yeah, it was awesome, man. It was like so much fun. Like we would, because in Oklahoma it wasn't like Iowa, but it was still pretty cold at this time. Yeah. So you're out there, you're right on the beach. It was like and then
Cliffy,
you come back.
I tell you what, Coach Smith took care of you guys. That Cliff's nice place.
It's nice. It was real nice. It was nice.
Yeah, that's a nice place.
They'd always have a good couple guys, but the heavyweight at the time, I wasn't too heavy lift. So like after Reno, it was pretty light. I could really enjoy the trip, Right. But I wrestled the match. He was a good heavyweight, but it wasn't like top of the food chain.
Right.
But there would always be like 1 or 2 guys that would have a good matchup, tough. That's why we did it. Like, I remember one year Pendleton had a tough guy that was like in the top 5 or something, and then some of the lighter weights had some tougher guys that was like head to head. Yeah. And I think John set it up to get those guys like an extra match because we would never see them again.
Were you on the team with Nathan Morgan? Is that your
Yes.
No. Okay.
Yes. Nathan
because he used to wrestle Mendez.
Yes. So that was that. Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of. Morgan and Mendez.
Mendez was.
I couldn't remember if it was Morgan or Coleman.
Really good.
Yeah, he's tough.
Yeah, he was really good.
He was a stud.
Yeah. So Cal Poly always had they had like Mendez, the Novachkovs. I can't remember if I'm getting the name wrong, but and then who was the other one that was really good too? Vasquez.
Yeah,
I think it was. Yeah. So
I think that's who Pendleton wrestled.
Could have been
Vasquez.
Yeah. I mean, they always had some really, really good guys there. Yeah. So, but Cal Poly. I mean, people ask me, I was one of the assistant coaches at Cal Poly for 3 years, and I came back to Chattanooga and took the head assistant job there. And people were like, "Are you seriously moving from San Luis Obispo back to Chattanooga? What are you thinking?" I'm like, well, considering that I only make so much money as an assistant coach at the college level, I mean, at the mid-major college level, I mean. My money stretches a lot further in Chattanooga than it does in San Luis Obispo. It's a little pricey there, but it's well worth it. I mean, you're talking about like literally. I've never lived in a place that had literally like perfect weather 340 days out of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, we like for maybe 2 weeks it'd be a little cold, we'd let some rain, whatever. Other than that, it would be 75 during the day, 75 to 77, and then at night it would be like upper 60s.
Yeah,
and it would be perfect.
Yeah, I did a fight camp out there with Glover. And he fought. That's right before he fought Bader.
Okay.
In Brazil, but we spent 3 weeks there, and he had like John Hackelman had like a little kind of training barracks, like a bunkhouse.
Oh, wow.
He had like an octagon with just a roof over it. It was like open air.
Oh, wow.
So we did all our sparring outdoors.
Yeah.
And he had a big setup with like strength and conditioning stuff. So we really stayed on his little complex. It was like, it was awesome training. It was like, reminded you of like what you would think in Rocky, how the Russians trained. Everything was outdoors.
Really?
It was really cool.
He had some tough dudes coming to that place.
Tough dudes, yeah. It was cool. It was cool. But like we'd go to the beach every day and jump in the water for like a cold plunge and train 3 or 4 days. I think I was there for like 3 weeks. It was good.
That was the thing I didn't like about the San Luis Obispo, because like the beaches are so beautiful and like everything's just so scenic. You jump in the water, it's freezing.
Oh yeah.
Because I like to actually be in the water, and
Yeah,
I mean, not that
swim around.
I'm not a huge swimmer or a surfer or anybody or whatever.
Well, you're not staying in the
I like
water
to go in the
there.
water, you know. But you ain't staying there very long because it's freezing.
Yeah.
So
It was cold.
yeah, but it's a great spot though. It's awesome.
It was awesome, man.
Yeah. So, but you went there with Oklahoma State. So I mean, as most people know, I mean, which was, you talk about like the new. I mean, you were like always the attention. There was so much attention on you. Just from the fact that like when you were coming out of high school, obviously, you know, a lot of times you don't have the number one recruit in the country who's a heavyweight. It's just normally it's a middleweight or, you know, you were like, I mean, like I said, plus you had this whole aura about you as far as like, I mean, if a wrestler was intimidating, there was a whole other level of it was Mocco intimidation. I mean, people were like literally like scared, shitless to come out there and compete against you. And that was you coming out of high school. And obviously, making the national finals as a freshman and winning it, as in Iowa, and then shock the world again and transfer to Oklahoma State.
I mean, it didn't have too much to do. I loved Iowa. I really did. I liked Jimmy too.
Yeah.
I liked Tom was like one of my main guys. I really did. But Tom left too. So it didn't really even get into my head about the college side of it.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking more internationally. I just spent a year training with Full Heart at the training center, and like at the time I was like, all right, I'm just gonna stay at the training center. Like Bela Glossoff was there. They had a bunch of freestyle guys there and Greco guys. So I'm like, I'm just gonna stay at the training center. My mom was like, get your degree, finish your school. So I was like, all right. So I looked at it. Oklahoma State had 3 Olympians out of the 7 weight classes. So I thought, like in my head, I was like, oh, they have a really good freestyle situation there.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what made it. Really had nothing to do with the college end of it. At that point, I was not really even. I was surprised that people thought it was that big a deal. But
really?
It really had to do for me more about freestyle in the Olympics than the NCAAs.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I realized it when I went back and wrestled in Carver.
I bet you did.
Even at Ames. Even when I wrestled in Ames.
Really?
Yeah, they were all over me in Ames.
Ames was?
No, like Hawkeye fans.
Oh, Hawkeye fans in Ames. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I was like, in Ames, they're probably cheering you on.
Yeah.
Wow. What was it like when you went back to Carver? I mean, what was it? I mean,
it was loud.
Yeah.
I wrestled. They had a good heavyweight too. He was a tough heavyweight.
Yeah.
Fields.
Yeah, Matt Fields. Yeah.
So
my brother coached him in high school.
He did?
His high school coach. Yeah.
He did. He was tough, man. He was big and hard to move. And it was a good match. It was a tough match. But I remember you could just hear. And normally the teams here, they moved their bench up like another 10 yards away from everybody. But you could just hear there was a lot of heckling and
Traitor.
Yeah, a lot of that.
I bet.
But I knew it was going to happen.
Those Iowa fans, man, they are something. I mean, they are something. It's just, they're arguably
They're into it. They like it.
I mean, they're very, very educated. They're very passionate. I think that it's just, sometimes, like I said, Tom and Terry go through, very, very, some unwarranted situations where, with just unrealistic expectations as far as, Coach Gable set such a standard there.
Yeah.
It's just like, how do you, it's so hard to live up to that.
Yeah.
It really is. And
look at, I know they're dealing with it still to this day, but look at Jimmy.
Yeah, exactly.
Jimmy won 3 titles, right?
Like 4 years or something like that. He was 4 years.
Yeah. He took second.
Yeah.
He took 7th, and then he took second again, and then
He won him out of there.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's nuts. It's just but like I said, it's very, very bunch of passionate fans.
They are
that are
passionate.
passionate.
Great fans. I went to a match last year with
Oh,
Michael.
Yeah.
And it was like I told him you were going to be screaming at each other as soon as it's close, and they wind up winning. I'm trying to think who it was. Ferrari won the dual meet.
Oh,
He
okay.
had to win to get
That was against. That was Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State.
Yeah,
Yes,
he beat
David
Pot.
Taylor. It was his first year.
That's it.
And they had a Japanese guy.
Wow.
They were holding up signs in Japanese. It was like,
really?
How's that work? one of the assistants had a bunch of poster boards, and they were holding them up, and we were behind them, so we couldn't see what they were holding up. And then I looked at some pictures on social media. I'm like, it's Japanese writing. It's like, work hard, or hit your near arm far leg. He probably had to make a bunch of them. See, is he reaching with what's he reaching with? All right, hit your drag. It was pretty cool.
That's right. I remember that. I mean, they had that Japanese kid out there wrestling. That's crazy. The freestyler. Wow. So what was the big difference like between the two programs when you, like I said, we decided to do the transfer? I mean, the biggest difference?
The biggest difference. It's like the culture of the places are a little different, right? Like Oklahoma has a southern undertow to the culture,
true.
So it's a little bit different culturally that way. But other than that, there wasn't too big a difference.
Yeah.
Like I know people think that there's a huge difference, and maybe it was because I was so focused on what I was doing.
Right.
But I mean, in Iowa, I trained like as hard as I could. You know, like we'd lift or drill in the morning or condition, and then in afternoon we had practice. And at Oklahoma State, we would lift or drill or condition in the morning, and we'd have practice in the afternoon.
Just the same.
I thought for me it was the exact same. Really, like it didn't. I pushed as hard as I could when I wrestled hard, and I tried to develop technique and strategy when I wasn't, when I was working more skill and technique and strategy. Right. So for me, it wasn't, I didn't notice, it definitely wasn't like black or white or there wasn't too big I didn't notice a difference. I mean, I know guys said, I know Brinzer wrestled at both. Yeah. And he said it was like a lot different, but for me, I really didn't notice too much of a difference. Maybe some drills were different, like they would call a drill one way, but you were doing the same exact drill. It just had a different name for it in the other place. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. The conditioning might have been a little different. Like maybe instead of doing the real runner, they were doing Aerodyne or something like that. You know what I mean? Or at Iowa, you did the Aerodyne, and here you were doing maybe bands. Or at Iowa, you were doing bands in the sauna. There, they do bands in the wrestling room. Yeah. But nothing that you would say like this is totally different. You know what I mean? Right. That's what I noticed from my experience with it.
I would think that because you're talking about, because when you were at Oklahoma State, you guys had your team was loaded.
Yeah, we had some studs.
Loaded, and you can't have that good a team under a guy like John Smith without being incredibly hardworking. As well. Incredibly hardworking and competitive, and that's. When I look back at my years at Iowa, that was what I basically summed it up. Is that the team worked really super hard, and there was just a bunch of really competitive people in the room, and that's just really kind of the way it worked. And I'm assuming that it was probably pretty similar in Oklahoma State.
I think they both are trying their best to score more points than their guy's opponent during the regulation time. You know what I mean? Yeah. There could be some like little cultural differences, but nothing that you would say like, one is this and one is that. You know what I mean? I'm sure it's the same at Penn State today. I'm sure that they're doing everything humanly possible, the same as Iowa, the same as Oklahoma State today, even though it's a whole different thing. Right. But they're trying to score more points than their opponent, and they're going to use their brains and their every attribute they have to put them in a position to score more points than their opponent. You know?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's really interesting that when you. Talking about how you made the transfer to Iowa to Oklahoma State, that it really wasn't about the college. That part I didn't know. It was more about your international career, and you had already started to focus on that.
Yeah, I went with Lee. I went with Lee. We went to a Gator Club camp in Louisiana.
Oh, that's right, the Gator Club. Yeah.
And I got to, because all the Oklahoma State guys were Gator. Got to know John a little bit at the camp. Yeah. Wrestled with Cormier, wrestled with a bunch of their guys. Mo was there. Yeah, Mo Lau.
That's right. Yeah,
he's here at ATT now. We coach together now. Yeah,
no kidding.
Yeah, he's one of the MMA coaches on the team.
God, he was tough.
He's still a tough. He's still a stud. He's just, he's not. He's a stud. He Yeah, he's a good coach too. He's a
Really?
real good coach. Yeah, so I visited with those guys, and Mo was like, "Yeah, no, I'm here. You come and train." And Daniel was there, and I saw, they all made the Olympic team. Those guys. And I'm like, "Oh, this is a good situation."
Yeah.
From that Gator Club camp, I saw like they were working a lot of like freestyle and freestyle stuff, and then I was like, I was gonna either stay at Iowa, I was gonna move to the training center and not go back to college, or I wound up at Oklahoma State. That's just kind of how it happened.
Yeah. So what was the differences between the two? Like, I guess you said that from a room perspective, it really wasn't much. It really wasn't a whole lot of difference with it. Was there some differences like in the, because we talked a little bit already about like the Iowa, just the wrestling aura and culture.
Yeah, that was a little different.
Was a little bit different.
Yeah, that was different. Like,
Not saying better or worse or whatever, but a little bit different.
No, they were both very good.
Yeah.
They were both very awesome to experience. To experience both sides. The fans were a little bit different, and it was awesome to experience both sides of it. When you're winning at Iowa, it's important. It's important to people in the town. It's important. Not saying that in Oklahoma it's not important, but you see it, you could feel it.
Yeah.
You could. There's energy to it. That was a lot of. It was. Like as a young kid, it was a really good life experience to experience that. Winning NCAAs and then coming back to Iowa City was like one of the, best feelings I've had. You know what I mean? It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was really, really a lot of fun. The way people, it was, cause there's not much going on. Like people really enjoy it.
Yeah.
They really enjoy, like no matter where NCAA is at, there's going to be a huge contingent of Iowa fans that just go and watch every year, and they're passionately like they're not taking that time away from their everyday life to do that if it's not important to them.
Exactly. No, you're right.
And you could feel that. You could feel it. And then even going back after, so I moved to the training center when Terry was there.
Right. Yep.
And Mo was there, and Full Heart, and we were all training there, and we wind up moving back to Iowa City because Terry went back.
Back to Iowa City, yeah.
And you could still feel it now, not as a wrestler, as like a club guy that trains there, and like you go to the duels. It was so much fun. It was so much fun to experience that, and I wouldn't put my kid there if I didn't think it was worth it. Like,
absolutely.
I definitely think it's a worth life experience. There's nothing like being at Iowa, and there's nothing like winning at Iowa. It's a great experience. It's a great life experience.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. That's awesome. Gallagher Iowa, did that get as rowdy and as rowdy as Carver at time?
It got rowdy. No,
it gets
got
pretty
rowdy.
crazy there. I mean, what John Smith did there is
it was impressive.
That
was a very good experience too. Don't I'm not like saying
of course
better
not.
words. Like Gallagher Iowa was a lot of fun to wrestle.
Well, what's the most fun duel outside of the Iowa match? I'm sure that's the match there, but that the Oklahoma match has got to be a fun one.
Yeah, no, we always had like crazy matches against OU.
Oh yeah,
they had that Bedlam.
Yep.
That was always like real fun matches, and you could see like some of those teams at OU, but they still brought it for that match.
Yeah.
Like it was like a tough match, you know. And I remember it was a lot of fun. We'd wrestle. Nebraska. That would be because they were Big 12
one,
at the time. So that was always a big match, whether they were home or we were there. When we were there, it was huge.
Yeah.
When they were home, we'd have a lot of guys come because some of the Nebraska fans would come down.
Yeah.
So it was a packed house. It was fun. No, Gallagher Iowa was a fun place to wrestle at.
Yeah.
People were definitely like plugged into the program there too. They were like, great job tonight.
Yeah.
And like I remember noticing that too. Like they would talk to like everybody. You'd go in after the match to whatever the function was, like in the team. Like coach would go up and talk, and people were like talking about great, like in Iowa, like good job. It wasn't as detailed, but like you could see you could tell like a lot of the Oklahoma State guys had wrestled because they would like say, you did a really good job of like shutting down his underhook.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he did because he always scores with that underhook all his matches. So like they're not only watching us, they're watching like your opponent wrestle other people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So like they were very educated.
Yeah.
So that was kind of fun to be around too.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What was it like wrestling with John Smith?
Awesome.
I met him a handful of times, and he's always been He's always been really, really cool. I've really, I've always enjoyed my conversations with him just because, I mean, his wrestling mind is just off the charts. I think he is so intelligent when it comes, I mean, he's intelligent probably just in general.
Yeah, he's super sharp.
But man, when it comes to wrestling, he is on it.
He sometimes plays like slow, but you know he's super sharp. He's super sharp. I think that's his charm. But he is sharp. Yeah, he's sharp. You go in and he has, you go in thinking you're going to talk to him about something, and you walk out scratching your head like, I gave back more than I had before I got in here. I gave it he was the man. Like he was a really, really good, and he lived it too. Like he lived it. Like he'd come over, we'd talk, he'd call you over, we'd eat dinner at his house. He was like, he lived it. I mean, he got up in the morning till he went to bed. He was, his focus was on it. He was really good to wrestle. Very smart. Like we didn't wrestle the same style.
Yeah. No, not at all. Yeah. But and that's what I was going to ask you too.
He would like pick over technique with me and experiment. He was just like, it was very, very informationally. It was really good for me. Like just to learn and study, and he was awesome. He was a good coach, great person. He's a good friend now. He's a real cool guy. Yeah. Awesome.
He always, I mean, I
saw him at Fargo this year. It was cool. I hadn't seen him in a while. He was like just coming in and hanging out. I guess Pat's son was wrestling.
Oh, okay.
So he just went to go and think about that guy. Everywhere that guy goes.
Man.
If you go to a wrestling tournament, there's John Smith.
I know.
I'm sure Brand's brothers too. Everybody, they're all at that level. But like, that he is always John Smith, right? And anytime he shows up, if he goes to Fargo, if he goes to the duels, if he goes to
John Smith,
Gable's the same, right?
Yeah, Gable's the same way. Yeah. But, I mean, talking about a guy that won 6 world gold medals in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that's to do that. I mean,
he would still wrestle back then. Like,
really?
He was older, but he would still wrestle. I remember he would wrestle with Guerrero. He'd wrestle with Joe Kelly. Yeah.
Oh wow.
And then he fell out of a hunt stand, and then he didn't wrestle for a few months, and then he kind of slowed down. But he would wrestle him like, when I was in school there, he was wrestling pretty regularly. I was always impressed by that because he wasn't a young guy,
No.
He was still competitive.
Yeah, it's those guys that just at that level. It's. I mean, because Gable was the same way. I mean, I've told this already on basically all the podcasts that I've done so far because I've been with the Iowa guys. But I was the 4.5, almost 5 years that I was at Iowa. I probably wrestled Coach Gable more than anyone in the room because I was the right size, right skill level. He wasn't going to grab Lincoln and wrestle him every day. Or Ironside, maybe he could grab a guy like me. So I literally wrestled him so much, and he was. I mean, and then Terry Brands. I was talking to him. I talked to him probably I don't know. This was 5-7 years ago. I said, Brand, you still get on the mat and roll around? Because I don't anymore. I mean, I do yoga and lift weights, man. I'm 53 years old. Yeah. That's just asking to get hurt. Yeah. And he's like, every day. I mean, I'm like, you're crazy, man. Yeah. What are you doing? Every day. This was back when Spencer was coming through.
Yeah.
I said, you wrestle with that dude? Is that NCAAs? He's like, every day. And I'm like, jeez. I was like, man, you're crazy. But that's like when they get those guys, when they get to those levels of wrestling, it's just like they just can't stop. They just love doing it. And
Terry was great to us, man. We lived with him for a while.
Yeah.
When we moved from when I left Stillwater, went to Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
He was the resident coach.
Yeah.
We lived with him for a few months, and then when I moved from Colorado Springs to Iowa City, I lived with him for a few months too. We only got a place because Katie was having Peter, my second boy.
Oh wow.
So we wanted a place because we were in the basement there.
Yeah.
So we like to have the newborn,
Yeah.
So we wanted to be in a place.
Wow. Yeah.
We moved close to Lloyd.
Yeah. That's right. He said that you guys kind of live close together. Yeah. No. I mean, Terry. Yeah. He
was awesome, man.
Yeah. Because he's kind of your main guy there for a while. I mean, during your international when you started. So now we're getting into your international career. When you done to Oklahoma State. I do want to ask you about your biggest college rival. What you think? But we're going to go a little bit in the international. Terry was kind of your guy. Because you followed him out at the training center.
Yeah.
Followed him back to Iowa, huh?
Yeah. Went back to Iowa with him. He was awesome. He was awesome to wrestle for. Mm-hmm. like what he brought to the table every day. Not even just wrestling, but wrestling specifically, but even just lifestyle and just everything. He was just a great coach.
Yeah,
he helped me a lot.
Yeah,
helped me a lot. He's I'm really looking forward to having Michael with him.
Yeah,
and Tom too. You know, don't get me wrong. Morningstar too. They have a great staff. But
absolutely.
It's real comfortable for me because I would trust Terry with anything. You know, like he's definitely honest, and you know, you might not agree with him,
right?
But that doesn't mean he's not giving you his honest opinion.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And he gives it to you, and a lot of people don't. And he's one of those guys that are like that, and it's, you know, I got a lot of respect for him and what he did for me, but I really look up to him as a coach.
Well, that's probably the highest compliment that you could actually give him is not the fact that you had given your 100% effort towards him, because when you wrestle for Terry Brands, you better be ready. You better buckle up. I mean, you're either in or you're you're in or you're out. Well, there ain't no gray area. But you've actually trusted him, you know, with your son. That's that would be easy. I would trust him in a heartbeat. Yeah, you know, I would trust him in a heartbeat. Absolutely,
any one of my kids, any one of them.
Oh yeah, he's the best. So there's got to be a workout or two that sticks out with Terry Brands, because I mean, it's like, that's one of the things that, I mean, I've got a lot of buddies that wrestled for him at Chattanooga, and when he came to Chattanooga, that was his only time he was head coach. He was basically just putting them through the ringer. There's got to be a couple stories there here.
Man, we got so many. It's hard to say them all, and I don't want to say one's better than the other one, but I could tell you a few. Oh yeah, so love it. We used to do the COG in Colorado Springs. Yeah, it was an incline. Yeah, you ever did it? No, God no. It's in Manitou. It's basically like a mile, but it's straight up, and then you're in the first 5 miles of Pikes Peak. Pikes Peak, the top is like a 15-mile switchback. So if you go up the mile, you're at the 5 mile mark of the switchbacks, right? And it's just kind of straight up. And he would have us do that. After a while, we got really good at it. I think Martinez, he wrestled at Ryan Martinez. He wrestled at Wyoming. Okay. He had the record. He did it in like 18 minutes. But I think Henry was pretty close behind him. I think Henry. Well, because you guys are training center at the same time as Henry. Yep. Okay. Yeah, he was a lot younger than me. But he came right out of high school. Yeah. But yeah, he was there at the same time. We trained together though. Yeah. He was in that crew. Yeah, Henry was a stud. But Terry would have us do it sometimes in the winter. The cog? Yeah. It was like you slip off the. Yeah. Oh no! You doing that in snowshoes or what? Well, if you got to keep your feeding, you got to keep your balance. Just like in wrestling, you got to keep your footing and balance. There's consequences. There's consequences. Yeah. Well, we used to do it all year round. It was looking back on it, was so much fun. You know, it was so much fun going through it. It wasn't that much fun. No. Looking back on it, and there was a lot. There was a couple of times where we were going overseas to wrestle. Yeah. And he was like, you don't want to, there's germs on the plane, or you don't want to get over there, and the food's a little different. So we're gonna spike your red blood cells, right? They're gonna spike your red blood cells. So you take us up to the top of Pikes Peak, and there's like a parking lot up there, like a little and he'd have us do like sprints and curls, and he'd have some guys that weren't doing the sprints and curls hand fight with you, and you were like drunk. You were like, the world was like going, but you'd scrap hard, and you'd come back down, and you'd feel great after, and you'd get on the trip, you'd feel great, And I remember, I remember warming up in like some gym, and I'm like, I'm gonna fucking kill this guy. I just did a workout at 16,000 feet. I did this like 48 hours ago. I'm at the weigh-ins, looking at our life. Is this a legitimate science behind this, or is this Terry Brand science? I think there was something to it, man. I definitely felt stronger, and I felt like there was nothing that they were going to do to waver what I wanted to happen. I was like, there's no way I'm this guy's scoring on me. I know he could defend his legs well, but I just did fucking curls and hand fought at 16,000 feet. Can't get any worse than that. It can't get worse than that. He's not doing that. Right. Oh man, I think I saw this video of it's you mentioned Cejudo being there at the same time. I think it was in some little small high school. I saw it on YouTube one time, just flipping through videos, and I was like, "Wow!" He had you and Henry doing these Oh yeah,
like skipping drills and backwards running treadmills, and you guys look like you guys are literally about ready to puke.
Yeah,
and
that was at the Olympic Training Center.
oh, was it?
Not the training center. It was the Olympic Training Camp.
Okay.
In Tempe, in Scotts, like Arizona State.
Oh, okay.
Scottsdale. Right?
Yeah.
It was that was a good camp, man. That was a great camp. We had a bunch of partners. All the Olympic team guys got like 2 or 3 partners. The USA Wrestling brought them there.
Yeah.
And it was a tech, like in the morning was technique and strategy, and in the afternoon was hard training. And then one of the mornings we did like a bunch of runs. Like we did an outsort or run. One time we did it was like a studio with treadmills and stuff, and you know it was a great training camp to get ready to go to China.
Yeah.
It was cool, and that I remember that after practice was over, Terry put me and Henry through a bunch of jumps. And yeah, we did that a lot. Like
Really?
that wasn't just because of the camp. We did that like on a regular basis. Like there'd be practice, and about 30 minutes to 40 minutes after practice, we'd work, whether it was conditioning or technical or strength. Like we definitely, and it wasn't the whole crew. Like the whole crew was doing something, and it wasn't always the same thing, but it was like a window to develop your own areas, you know.
Right.
And I try to do that now, even with our club, even though they're little ones. I said, like, we run an hour and a half practice. That doesn't mean like at an hour and a half you go home.
Right.
Like you go home, the minimum should be 20 minutes after, maybe 40, 45 minutes. When the last person leaves, we're going to lock the door. But there's nobody kicking you out, and practice doesn't end just because we break. Like when we break, this is time. And I got that from Terry. Like Terry, because I felt like I made those big jumps.
Yeah.
Like everybody does practice hard. But then when you think like, all right, what do I need to get better at? You ask your coach what you need to get better at, and they say, this is what you need to get better at. Let's do it right now. And it's not as strict as like the whole room doing it. You know what I mean? Even though you need that too.
Right.
It's just like you're doing it on your own. It's like a little, and sometimes it's not that hard. Sometimes it's talking.
Right.
Sometimes it's, I mean, Iowa guys, right? Like how often after practice do they just visit in the sauna and stretch and feel good for the next day and get ready for their next workout? Like sometimes it's that, but sometimes it is hard. Sometimes it is sharp and tough, you know, and other times, but I think that's important. Like I think some places they don't have that, and I see a big difference from the people that take that like 40 minutes to an hour or half hour after, to where guys are like break and everybody just leaves and jumps in the car and drives home. You know?
Yeah, for sure. When do you think, like when you were transitioning from that college to international level? I shouldn't say when did you think you started to figure it out, but how when did you think, when did it flip that your transition from college to international to where, okay, you know what, I can compete on this, and now I'm where I need to be to compete with the best guys in the world?
It was young. Like I was in college.
Okay.
I was in 2004. I wrestled international. I didn't make the team. Right. I lost to McCoy.
Yeah.
And I lost to Tally Thompson in trials. So I was third on the ladder, but I won some Grand Prix. I beat Magomedov. He was a world champ. I beat probably like 3 or 4 world champs that year, and I knew I could do well. You know, I knew I was like there. It just didn't happen for me to get out. And getting out of the U.S. was hard for me.
Yeah.
I only got out 1 year.
I mean, well, shoot. You just McCoy. Tally Thompson. Tally Thompson was a freaking stud, man.
He's a monster.
He was a stud.
Yeah, great guy.
Oh,
awesome.
Tally's freaking. He's awesome.
Guy.
Yeah, Iowa boy.
Yeah,
Janesville. Yeah.
And after them, there was other guys. You know, like Rollins. And, no, there's a bunch of guys. So I never. I wrestled. I only made it out 1 year, and that year I made the Olympic team.
Yeah,
but the other years I didn't make it out. But some of my best international wrestling was, overseas, and that wasn't the Worlds or the Olympics, but it was a Grand Prix. But no, it was a deep weight, and that you notice that a lot of overseas guys doing like that. You know?
Yeah, because you won the Yarygin.
Yeah,
you're one of 10 Americans that won the Yarygin.
Yeah, I won the Yarygin.
What was that like? I mean,
the guy that won my weight, there was the gold medalist. He took second, but he's the gold medalist now. My weight was in my weight at the Yarygin. The guy that he's a bronze medalist now. He was in my weight at the Yarygin. I had beaten a Cuban like 3 or 4 times. He's a bronze medalist now at the Yarygin, but also in the Pan Ams. Like I definitely was like, I felt like I was like right there. It just wasn't my time at that tournament. You know?
Right.
I lost to that kid in the quarters. He's now the gold medalist, but I lost him in the quarters. It was a close match. It was all clinches, 3 clinches.
Yeah. Clinches.
But yeah, no, I think no, I had a good event. I just like I needed to finish that one clinch. You know?
Yeah. What was it like winning that Yarygin? Because I mean, I've never been overseas to wrestle. Obviously, I was never that level. But from what I understand from the multiple stories that I hear from good buddies of mine, when you go overseas, it's tough. I mean, you're fighting a lot of different elements. Not only could be weather elements, could be refereeing elements, could be this element, it could be fan elements. It's a lot.
It's cold. It is cold. But it's good. It's a good tournament. It's a great tournament. I got a funny Yarygin story.
Yeah. I want to hear it.
In the semifinals, I wrestled Ali Eslayev. He was a PFL champ. He fought.
Oh, yeah.
And he wrestled for Azerbaijan, but he's from Dagestan.
Yeah.
And we had a good match. Like I scored on him. I scored pretty easy on him, and it went my way, and he got frustrated and got mad, got really mad. And after, we're in the back, and we're about to fight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were about to get in a fight. Because I'm like, he started yelling at me in a different language. I don't know what the fuck he said.
Go for it.
So I said, whatever. I started yelling back at him in English, and it started escalating. And then the kid who broke up the fight was the guy who won my weight. He's a gold medalist on my weight in the Olympics, but his name was Akhmedov. But I look around, and all these little dudes are creeping a little bit on me,
Really?
They're wearing the vests and the outfits like the foreigners wear, and they're just kind of leaning in, and I'm like, oh shit, it's just me and my brother Joe here. I'm like, all right, we're gonna start fighting. I'm like, I'm looking around for all the U.S. guys are videotaping it, bro. None of them they were all videotaping it. These dudes had 14 or 15 dudes acting like they're standing there, but as soon as fists are flying, they're jumping in. You can just see it in their eyes and shit. And the other guy broke it up. The other heavyweight broke it up, which I was happy for. I feel like getting jumped over there before the finals, But every American that was on the team with us, not one of them had their fist ball. All of them had video cameras. It was the old school one. That was before the phones.
That's hilarious.
Zeke Jones was there. He walked off the mat with us, and he high-fived me. But when the fight was about to start, I'm like, where the hell did where
does he go?
Yeah. No, I don't blame him. I'm not saying that you guys should have been jumping. If we were going to be outnumbered. If 4 of them jumped in or 10 of them jumped in, we're going to be outnumbered regardless.
Yeah, you're a Russian tournament.
Yeah, we're in a Russian tournament.
You're in a tournament in Scottsdale, by all means. Wow.
But that was a fun experience. But they came out of the woodwork. It was all on us.
Wow. So like a tournament like that, because that's a big deal. I mean, that's a big deal in Russia. The Yarygin tournament's a big deal. I mean, is it like packed stands, crazy crowd, or what's it like there? At that tournament?
It was always fun to see the stands because they all wore black jackets.
Oh,
I think because of the weather or whatever. Oh, yeah. But it was weird. It looked like a sports team of fans, but they were all in and they weren't too emotional. They get a little emotional, but they were all just kind of watching, and they don't speak English,
right?
So you don't really know what they're yelling or anything. They hear a little. Every once in a while, if something happened that was off color, they would whistle. That's like booing, So every once in a while, if you did something off color, they would whistle at you. So I thought they were cheering. It wasn't until later that that's the same as I hear boo.
Is it that tough with the refereeing over there? I mean, the calls just don't.
It can be. I think not maybe not so much anymore because it's a little different animal now. But I think that generation, and the rule set what it was. I think it can be, especially at the Grand Prix level. Mm-hmm. Maybe not as much in the world, but I think it is. I think it was back then. I think the direction that the sport has gone is definitely a positive, all around. I'm not saying that I was the worst generation or that it was bad,
but it was.
But I think it's normal. It was normal.
Yeah, it
wasn't. They definitely had their guys, and they definitely had an idea who they wanted to win. They didn't always win because you had to
Right.
take it away from them if you weren't that guy, right? So, like, I don't think it was any different than there's some horror stories of, like, you know, Colot and
Of course.
McCoy and guys that, like, really got hosed real bad.
Yeah.
And I got hosed a few times, but not more than anybody else. You know?
Yeah. Is that kind of like the mindset you had to have when you went over there overseas? So we're like, okay, you know what? I've got to, like you just said, I got to take it from them.
What's
It's just the way it
complaining
is.
about it?
Yeah.
What's complaining? You get screwed. What's complaining? It's not going to change anything.
Yeah.
When I won Yarygin, they gave me an envelope. And I was pumped up because I didn't have a job at the time. I was staying in Iowa City. I was living off of winnings, you know. And they gave me an envelope, and I felt kind of light,
Yeah.
you know. And I, like, gave my brother a look, and I looked at the guy next to me. He had a little thicker envelope than me. And I'm like, well, maybe they put 20s in his. Who knows what the fuck, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I felt it was light. And I get off the stand and I opened it. It was like $1,000 or $1,500, and everybody said it's like $6,000 to $12,000 to win Yarygin in cash, you know. So I was like, oh, this is not going to work. Like, what's going on? So I told Joe, I told Zeke. They got the translator. The translator goes up and talks to one of the head officials or one of the guys in the suits. You know, like, I don't know who they are, but it was like a higher. Like, people treated him like it was a little pomp and ceremony. You know?
He's giving out the envelopes. He better be important.
He starts yelling at the translator in Russian. And the translator could tell is scared, you know, like he's like scared, like white as a ghost. So I'm like, say to him, like, what did he say? He's like, oh, and then he talks to me like real gentle in Russian. And he said that the translator talks to me in Russian. He's like, they're going to come to your room and give you the rest of the money. It must have just been a mistake. You know, they don't know what happened.
Yeah.
And they never came to my room. Nobody came to my room. And I wasn't going to, like, push my flight back and stay in Krasnodar. I was like, I have kids and shit.
Right.
So I just went home. It wasn't worth it. I took the beat. You know? USA Wrestling paid. USA Wrestling paid me, and that was great. They gave me the bonus for, you know, winning the Grand Prix.
Yeah.
But they definitely not robbed.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, they gave you. They told you $6 and gave you $1,500.
Yeah. In Ukraine, one time I gave the girl the OW. I got an OW in Ukraine.
Oh yeah.
And it was a vacuum cleaner. Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, it was a vacuum cleaner. Yeah, it wasn't even a good one.
Yeah, I was going to say it was a nice one.
If you went to Walmart, you need a vacuum cleaner, and there was like all the vacuum cleaners in a row, you wouldn't have bought that one. You know, you'd have been like, even if it was like half price, you wouldn't have bought it. So I gave it to the lady, and she was a little babushka lady, right, with the hat.
Yeah.
And she had like a bunch of, it looked like branches tied to a stick that she was using to sweep the arena. And I gave it to her, and she'd like, again, like, you know, like acted all like I didn't want it. I'm like, no, it's a present, Padarik. I said Padarik, that means present. And you would have thought she won the lottery, you know, like it was a big deal to get it, you know. So, it was definitely a different cult. Especially that time. I think now you go to Ukraine, you can get anything. Or you go to Russia, Moscow, you could get anything. Right. But back then, it seemed like a little different. Like if I go over there now, it seems like I go sometimes for fights. Yeah. And it's like, I think they have everything that we have now for sure. But back then, especially certain outskirts of the city, was a little different style.
I bet. But you got OW in Ukraine, you got a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, I got a vacuum cleaner.
That's great. Who would you consider like your biggest international rival? Maybe you wrestled a couple times, and maybe you guys went back and forth, 1-1 type of thing, or 2-0, or whatever the case may be. Who's your rival internationally?
The guy he's the gold medalist now by Wade Akhmedov. We went back and forth. I beat him at the World Cup. I beat him at a Grand Prix, and then he beat me at the Olympics. You know, and right after the Olympics, I finished above him at Krasnodar's. But he was and Makov was real good too. I never beat him. We were supposed to wrestle a couple times, and he only beat me. He beat me once in an absolute tournament. We wrestled in Casa Verde for the Umakanov Memorial, and after the tournament, we went to like a challenge tournament. It was probably like, you know, about an hour from Casa Verde. It was in the mountains, and it was only heavyweight and 215. And most of the Americans went back. It was just me, my brother, and Bryce Aspen, who trained with Terry at the time. And you know, I beat him in the match, but he definitely got some calls. You know, so he won the match. But it was so weird. This was a weird one. So it was just 96 kilo in heavyweight, and there was no weight class. You just took a number and you went into the bracket.
Oh, wow.
So I beat him pretty good. Like, everybody understood I beat him, but he got the calls on it, and he wound up winning in advance. And then he lost to Ruslan Shakov, and I beat Ruslan Shakov because it was like kind of a pool thing. I lost to another guy. I forget his name. It wasn't one of their first string guys. Ruslan Shakov wrestled for Belarus. I think he was a world medalist. But I didn't place in the tournament the way they had the pools drawn, right? But they told me I got to go to the banquet. So, like, I went to the banquet, and it's some small town in Dagestan or Chechnya. I don't know where it was. It was about an hour from Kosovo. And you would have thought I was like a celebrity, man. Like, you would have really thought I was like a celebrity. These dudes were like, there was so much food. There was a whole lamb. The head was still on it. It was cooked,
geez.
And they were pinching pieces off it, like, it was a big party.
Wow.
And then they start giving the awards away. So they do the awards at the banquet that night, So the guys stand up on the award, first, second, third. And then they announce me to go up to the thing.
Oh, wow.
So I go up to the thing, and they hand me an envelope. I'm like, oh, I know what's in an envelope. So I'm like, I'll take it.
All right, I'll take it. Maybe that's part of that $5,000 you cheated me before. Yarygin.
So I'm sitting on the envelope. I'm sitting up there, and then my brother met some guy that spoke English, so he was translating what the guys were saying, and they were saying that they were so honored to have Americans in their village.
Wow.
They said that if you would have told them Americans would be in their village this time last week, they would say there's a better chance for green Martians to be in the village.
No kidding.
So they gave me $3,000. It was pretty impressive. I was like pumped. It was like a little bonus to go home with.
Wow.
I was like $3,000 cash.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Yeah.
nice. Thanks, guys. And then we're driving back. We're driving back to Kosovo because we're flying from Kosovo to Mahachkala and then Mahachkala to Germany or something, Or maybe we're driving to Mahachkala. I forget what it was. But on the way back from the banquet, it's just me, Joe, and Bryce. And then there's people all on the streets, and there's big tire fires all on the streets because they're rioting, because the Russians had turned off the electricity in the part of the town that you have to go in. And the guy that my brother met that spoke English that's giving us a ride back was like, and our flight's at 7 o'clock. It's probably like 2:30 in the morning, He's like, hey, you guys don't talk. If anybody knocks on the window or says anything, don't say anything. Just sit like this till I come back. So we're like, oh, shit. So the guy like pulls over to the side of the road, disappears into the crowd, and we're like, oh, shit.
What?
These dudes are all like yelling shit. Like, fires everywhere, like tire fires in the street. And then we're like, oh, shit. Like, this is getting hairy, and the guy comes back, and like they move some like thing that was blocking the road, and we slip into the city, and then we wind up, we actually go to another guy's house, so that he has a sauna in his house. We sauna, he gives us a bunch of candy and like presents, and then we fly home. But it was pretty hairy the way back in. But it was fun.
Man.
It was a good time.
Wow. Yeah. I heard those saunas in Russia are so hot.
Yeah, they get hot. They get hot. I mean, they do it. It's part of their deal.
Yeah.
Like, that's where it comes from. I
think. They're it's like a stone. It's like a hot stone. Is that what it is?
Yeah, hot stone. They put water.
McElravy was telling me about that.
The
leaves.
One time.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, they wave the birch leaves or whatever, eucalyptic. They almost smell like eucalyptic. I don't know what they are, but they massage you with them. You could do them. Some Russian neighborhoods have them here. It's pretty cool. Like in Brighton Beach has them. Some places here, like Sunny Isles has a big Russian population. You could go there and get it done.
Those dudes drink vodka in the sauna like everybody says they do?
Some of them do.
That's crazy.
But a lot of the Islamic don't.
No?
Yeah, the guys that are Islamic don't. But the Russians from Russia, they do. But some of the Islamic guys do, but not publicly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's against the religion, But that area is Islamic, But if you go to like interior Russia, like Krasnoyarsk, those places, Belarus, Ukraine, like they definitely do. They definitely. So alcohol's a big part of it.
Yeah, people say they'll go to wrestling practice, then they go outside and drink, do a couple shots of vodka and smoking a cigarette in the parking lot.
Yeah. I mean, especially that era, like especially Macary's era. He's before me. Like I think it was a lot more of that. I don't know how much the guys from Dagestan do. At least the fighters that I know that are from that area, they're pretty strict.
Strict lace.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because like I said, it's I mean, not everybody, and that's a cool experience. I mean, not everybody's been to Russia to wrestle, and now I have and be in a hairy situation like that. In the way the airport.
There's a bunch of them
crazy.
too. Like I got so many of them, but it's hard to tell them all.
Yeah.
One time we were going to a tournament and we stop on the side of the road because the guy wants to pray. Because they pray at certain times of the day. So he's doing the prayer, and he's like an army guy. He's like a machine gun.
Yeah.
And then the wrestlers were American wrestlers. It was the Paulson twins.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's cows on the road. There's no fence there. They start chasing the cows. So the cows start running across the highway, right? So the guards spanning out. Now all of a sudden a big tractor comes with 4 guys with it. You know what I mean? And they're yelling at the guy, and the guy's getting on his radio. 4 SUVs come up, and the farmers just bounce, Like they just come up. This ain't worth it. So then we went to the hotel and shit. But, yeah, that was a pretty hairy situation, too. It was like,
wow.
These guys are mad you chased their cows into the street.
Yeah, right.
We were kids. We were little kids. But it definitely was, that was a hairy one, too. I was like, these guys are pissed. Like, they're mad.
Wow. That's crazy. Wow. I mean, I bet what experiences that's crazy. So best international wrestler you ever put your hands on?
I wrestled a couple times with Musselbess, David Musselbess.
Okay.
He was pretty tough.
Yeah.
He was definitely one of the better guys
Yeah.
that I wrestled. Kormagomedov was a real good guy I wrestled. Yeah.
What made those guys so good? I mean, it's just the positioning, strength, just everything, total package.
They're both world champs.
Yeah.
Musselbess was an Olympic champ. I never wrestled Taz Mazayev. We were in brackets together, but we never saw each other. I wrestled the Turkish heavyweight. He was like a young kid my last year in 2012. And we trained together too in 2012 for a little bit. And he was a stud. He was really good. But yeah, no, probably I would say Musselbess was probably like everything he did had a purpose. It was fun to wrestle with him. I think I got better wrestling with him.
Right.
Just seeing his demeanor, his body language, all that stuff.
Yeah.
That Ruslan Shakov was really, really good.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of them, a lot of really good wrestlers I got my hands on over the years that were, you get something from every match, win or lose, you get something.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So biggest college rival, who would you consider?
I had a couple of them.
Yeah, I know.
Obviously Conrad later in college years, but Tommy was a big rival too.
Yeah.
I think me and Tommy wrestled because
you guys wrestled in your first national finals.
Yeah, he beat me.
But then you got him in the Olympic trials.
I got him in the Olympic trials, and we wrestled in between those times. I think 30-something times.
Wow.
Yeah, we wrestled 30-something times. Like I think we're really close. It's like 15 and 16.
Really?
16 and 17.
I remember you guys wrestling all the time. I mean,
Yeah.
it was. I mean,
And it wasn't like
you
I
wrestled
beat
that.
him a bunch, and then he beat me a bunch. It was like he beat me, I beat him, he beat me, I beat him. He beat me. He was a stud.
Yeah.
I beat him twice in my true freshman year. I beat him in Midland finals.
Yeah.
And I beat him in the dual meet, and then he beat me in Big Ten finals and in NCAA finals. And then my sophomore year, I beat him, I think, 3 times.
Yeah.
And then he beat me after that a couple times. Like we were back and forth. We wrestled a lot.
God, the heavyweight class was so deep back then.
Yeah.
I mean, you were in the golden age of heavyweight back then.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. I mean, in my opinion.
But Velasquez was good too. He was a tough kid.
Yeah. Because how many times did you wrestle Kane? He's like literally one of my favorite UFC fighters ever.
I wrestled him after, like my second 2 years of college at Oklahoma State. I didn't wrestle my first 2 years.
Okay.
But my first 2 years, there was a good heavyweight too, Flukinger. We'd wrestle a lot too.
Yeah, I remember.
We had a bunch. There was a bunch of good. The Michigan guy, I think his name was Wagner. He was a stud. There was a lot of good rivalries there, like good matches.
Now, was Kane? Was he a cardio king back then too? I mean, he could go. He's a goer. That was one of the things. That was one of the notes on him.
Yeah, he never got tired.
Never got tired.
He kept coming.
Yeah.
He would wrestle too. Like he would wrestle positions.
Yeah.
Like Conrad didn't wrestle as much. He was more like he had good offense. Like if you let him get a bite on you, and he had some positions he was really good at. But Kane was just like he would dive at your leg. He would hand fight with you. He would, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was a stud. They had a good match. Him and
Conrad, yeah.
Yeah,
I remember that.
in semis.
Yeah.
They had a good match. They both were really good. They're real good rivals, all of them. Like Tommy was probably the one I wrestled the most out of all of them, but they were all real good.
Yeah.
Dudes.
Now,
They're real good coaches, and they obviously went on to do really good things.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you you obviously weren't surprised then when Kane was the world UFC, the world champ of UFC, probably, huh?
No, I wasn't. It was impressive.
Yeah. You knew he had that dog in him. Yeah.
Yeah, and he could box, and head movement was good. He's a great fighter. One of the best fighters.
Yeah.
Heavyweight.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I remember I remember your Olympic trials, finals against Rollins. I'm like, well, yeah, these two might as well wrestle. I mean, this is kind of, they wrestle enough. And I remember how exciting they were. And yeah, you guys had some nail biters.
Yeah, he was a stud, man. He was a stud. He had a good underhook. He had a good throw by, good single leg.
Yeah.
He could turn on top. He was good. He was a good wrestler.
Yeah. Like you said, it was, just getting out of the country was tough back then.
Tough.
Yeah, for sure. So, but then you transitioned into coaching though. You spent a little time at Lehigh, but now, now you got the club here in Fort Lauderdale. How you liking kind of where Steve Mocco's at right now?
We started it for the boys. My two boys, they were just about that age. They were doing jiu-jitsu as I was like fighting, and then I was like, "Hey, let's get into some wrestling." So we went to some clubs, and they did good there. They were doing good. They did a good job. But I was like, I got the time to do it. Let's do our own thing. So we started just one day a week, and going to other stuff. And then the next year we did 2 days a week, and then before you know it, we're doing 4 days a week. And then COVID hit, so we kind of like stopped doing the weekends. We just started doing like core weekdays. We've been doing it ever since. It's been great. It's been great. It's been great to be able to watch them develop and wrestle.
Yeah, well, you've done a great job developing. Your boys are studs.
Yeah, they wrestle hard. They work hard. They do work hard. They're going to wrestle tomorrow in the counties. Should be good. Should be a good one. They're like finishing up the season now, and we're going to start focusing on freestyle. And then after that, Michael will be at Iowa. He's going to Iowa soon. Yep. Peter will be a junior next year, so he's got a little time. So we're going to start pushing him hard. Yeah. He's doing well though. He's getting bigger and stronger, and his technique is getting tighter. He's a stud. Yeah, they're fun to coach. They're good boys. All the kids in our club are awesome. Like you have a club. It's the best. I really enjoy it. It's the best. That's a good way to put it. It's the best. It's the best.
If you can coach wrestling for a living. Come on.
It's so good.
I don't feel like I'd work a day. I don't work a day in my life.
Yeah. If I didn't do it, I think I would still, like, if I didn't do it for a job, I think I would still do it. Like, maybe not as much or whatever when I wanted to, but I think I would still be involved. I love it. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like our family. It's like our life, everything, is geared up towards that in a weird way. Not everything, like big picture wise, like we go to tournaments, we prepare for tournaments. It's a big part of our life.
Yeah, but because we got your dad sitting here on the couch hanging out with us. It's awesome to have him here. But I remember watching, just some video clips and some little documentary type of stuff when you were coming through high school. You all had that camper that because you guys used to drive. Yeah, and then he used to make the breakfast and make whatever.
Yeah. We went to that canyon, right?
We went to Colorado to Paladoro Canyon in Texas.
Yeah.
We went all over the United States.
Yeah.
My brother too. My brother would come. Like I'd be in the little kid bracket. He'd be in the bigger kid bracket. Wow. And then we had a whole bunch of kids that trained in our club.
Because you guys were. You were like one of the very first ones that literally traveled for wrestling practice. Weren't you didn't you like drive like an hour and a half to practice all the time? And
he did. I didn't.
Yeah, well, he did.
Yeah, it was a big
2 hours.
It was huge. Yeah, we used to go to Foxcatcher, right?
Foxcatcher. Oh, okay.
My
Town Square.
Yeah.
Wow.
Town Square. My brother was at Brown, and he would come down because he didn't have class Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Right? He had Fridays off. So he would come down and he would stay with Schultz there. Okay. And then we would hit the club and then go home. But he would stay and then go back to school Monday. Wow. So we'd get to see him. I'd work out at the club. And there were some great coaches, like Dale Bonzel ran it. And just to be around those guys at such a young age, like Schultz and Giordanoff and Trevor Lewis was a guy who really helped out in the club a lot. He was like an awesome club coach back then. Yeah. It's almost like there wasn't that many clubs. Right. we went to them, and it was worth it for sure. Like I definitely had a big influence. It was a big influence, right?
3 years you went.
3 years.
3 years. Wow.
Dave Schultz said to me when we went the first time, he says, Mr. Mocco, you can have Joey come and we'll train him. But we want Steven to work with Valentino, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
He says, and Steven is a champion. Let him work with Valo, and we'll do the regular stuff. We just practice.
Yeah. No, Valentino was good.
Wow.
He was really good. He came to Blair a couple times just to visit and stuff. He became a guy in Bulgaria, like their federation guy, or like their It was multiple time.
Yeah.
World and 2-time Olympic champ, 4-time world champ.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, you literally hit the nail right on the head, and the people that listen in here. I mean, because I know it's to get to where you've been, the level of success that you've been. You've got to it's just got to be part of your life.
Yeah.
I mean, it really has to be. I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is, and it doesn't matter where you live.
Yeah.
If you live in Florida, California, Montana, Iowa, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
you just got to. That's just. I mean, because at the end of the day, there's families like you that are like yours that are doing it. And
we're into it. Yeah.
You got to keep up with them, and that's just the way it works. It's crazy how many clubs are out there now.
Yeah, and now with the internet, I think it's so much better. It's like you have access to everything. And with anything, not just wrestling, but you have access to everything wrestling.
Yeah.
Back then, like unless you knew the difference.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough. He knew the difference between like the rec club over here and like you know what I mean.
Yep.
And he was like, "All right, we're going to sacrifice. We're going to make this work because I
Yeah.
want you guys over here."
Yeah.
But now you have access to everybody has access to anything. Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's why I think you're seeing guys get so good young.
It is crazy, like how good the high school kids are.
Isn't it crazy? Even a little kid.
Insane.
We had kids wrestling Coastal Nationals.
I know.
And I was like, holy cow!
I know.
See that?
I know.
Like, that is high level. What he just said. That was
crazy.
3 different things. Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, just like it all started with the RTC craze, obviously.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden now you got all these just really high level wrestlers that like there's only 77 Division I programs now.
Yeah.
I mean maybe there's 3 coaching slots per. I mean you're looking at maybe 250-ish. College wrestling programs that you can. I mean college wrestling coaching spots you can have. I mean, and it's not like they just give those up. So now you're getting all these really high level wrestlers just starting a club.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's done amazing things for our country. I mean, just these high school kids that are coming out right now and competing in our senior level, like as consistently as they are now. I mean, like guys like you, Colat, guys like that were doing it. That you guys were.
But now there's a bunch. Yeah.
You guys were like, wow, like just oh my God, he's now it's like.
There's a lot of them.
I mean, it's just tons of them. It's so impressive now. So.
There's like more than 7, 10, right? There's guys. Yeah,
it's crazy. I mean,
college guys. You never even see college guys going to the Open Tour.
That's why it's like, I mean, these college guys that get into their 4th and 5th year, you would think back in the day that like helped. I mean, you're a junior, senior. I mean, you're like, where now it's like, no, because you got this young, hungry lion that's actually, this guy's been 4 or 5 years into it. You got this new guy that's coming through that's fresh out of high school. Yeah. And it's just, it's so wild, like what's going on. It's so wild.
It's good for the sport, though.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's awesome. I mean, it's awesome. What's been your biggest challenge as far as transitioning from, I guess, coach, club coach, because you still work with a lot of elite level athletes, from your on the MMA side, especially, to being dad coach.
It's like trial and error.
Yeah.
I think, if I see something that's, my reactions is trial and error. Like if I give a reaction and I don't get the right response from it, I try to like think about it and talk about it with other people I trust and try if I'm in that situation again to maybe change a little bit. But I think that like in anything else in life, like you want to be as efficient at it as you can. You know what I mean? And sometimes that means like not overdoing it. And sometimes that means overdoing it, and knowing when to push and when to pump the brake is good, you know, especially as like not so much just dad coach, right? Because like this is a guy like a club kid I got 3 days a week at the tournament, maybe a few hours, right? But a kid you're coaching, you got them 24 hours a day. You know what I mean?
That's true, yeah.
And there's a lot of times where they're like really good kids and they do really good things as boys, and then maybe like boneheads as wrestlers. You can't like get mad at them. Like, well, if they do something as a bonehead as a kid, like around the house or disrespectful or something, you can get mad at them about that, right? But like, you can't get mad at them around the house because they can't finish a high crotch. You know, like, you can't do that. Like,
that's true.
They're not gonna, you know. So I do my best to try, and I'm not saying I'm the mirror of an example, but I do my best to try to like stay in the lanes of each thing that we're working on. You know, like if he's you know not doing good at wrestling, I try to keep it on those terms, you know. And if he's not doing good as a brother or a son or a friend, I'll try to
kind of
keep it in that terms.
Yeah,
you know? Like, try not to cross him over too much.
Yeah.
It's tough. It is tough.
It's got to be tough, huh?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's the same. I'm sure, like, it's the same. Like, if you're mad about something that happens, you know, and it's over and you're home, it's hard to turn the page. Yeah. But I feel like the better I get at it, the better our relationship is, and me as his coach, like I want him to be good. Yeah. But it's more important for me for our relationship to be good, and for him to walk away, and his brother and his sister who's wrestling now too. To like, I want them to like, regardless how they do in wrestling, I still want to like have the good relationship with them as a father. Yeah. I want them to think back as me, and think of, you know, my father said this because he really cared about us, and this, and that. You know, not he was really mad that I couldn't finish my single leg. Yeah, you know what I mean? Right. So that it is some challenges, you know. Yeah. But it's worth it. It's on the other end of it, it's very gratifying, like to see a kid that you really care about, that you love, start to respond and make adjustments, and even hard on himself about it. And I'm like, I get proud if he's mad at himself sometimes, because I'm like, he cares about what he's doing today. That's great. You know,
that's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. That's such a cool perspective on it. That's awesome. I think you get the magic secret there. Yeah. That's good. Oh, it's obviously working pretty well.
There's no I definitely. Some people say, you know, it's little bits and pieces. Yeah. Try to be as good as you can when you can. You know, that's it.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, I tell you what, this has been a great conversation. I got one more question for you. Yeah, it's kind of maybe a fun off the cuff one. You're known for the foot sweep. That's your move. Yeah. If anyone famous, if you had one person that's famous that you could teach how to do a foot sweep, who would it be? Any famous person, doesn't matter, any genre. Actor, rock and roll star. Donald Trump, whoever.
Yeah, teach Donald Trump. Donald Trump a foot sweep. Yeah. Keep them guys on their toes.
There we have it right there. Donald Trump, if he's listening at one of these important times, Steve Mocco would love to teach you how to foot sweep someone. That's it. That'd be awesome. Steve Mocco, you are the man. And like I said, I'm, getting back to what Tom Brands told me, that I had to meet you way back when you were at Iowa. I'm so glad I did. And like I said, man, this has been a great, great conversation. And, man, it's been so much fun. It's been fun having your dad here hanging out with us, too. It's been awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks so much. I appreciate you. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Steve Mocco.
Thanks
legend
a lot, man.
The legend.
Thanks again.
You got it, man.
Thanks.